Okay, already started. I think recording is good. Okay, and I think the notes are being taken as well. Good. It's already dot on time. Shall we begin, Alex? What do you think?
Well, I think yes. Do you know people who just joining? Can you introduce new people, or should the people joining introduce themselves, or should we introduce ourselves? What do you think?
Yeah, yeah. I think we will introduce, and they will introduce themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But let's introduce first about this goal objective, because some of them may not be very clear, and at least high level, and then we'll, after introduction, we'll go in detail. So this call is about developer experience, and a developer experience working group related discussions we want to initiate. This is initiative from Intersect Open Source Office, and Alex and myself, we as a developer advocate, we'll be conducting this session once in every 2 weeks. On other week, if you want to join, there is kind of late evening call. Like next week, there will be another call late evening, which is I think 11:30 India time, but it's quite late for India time. So I think so. This hopefully works better for developers from India and this subcontinent. So we are talking about developer experience working group, and Alex and myself are the developer advocate. I think most of the audience here know me, so maybe I won't talk much about myself, but Alex, yeah, if you want to add from your side.
Hello everyone. My name is Alex. I'm developer advocate on Cardano at Intersect. Happy to see you here. Let's. Yeah, for me, I'm most curious about what are expectations and hopes of people joining, and the reason, and what you want to achieve, by joining this initiative, and yeah, what you want to do, what you want to get out of it.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, that's kind of, we're going to discuss in general, like as Alex says, we're trying to understand how, whether it's a new developer or you've been on Cardano for some time, how is your experience shaping up? What kind of challenges you finding? And with your experience, how we can improve this developer experience for a new developers joining. That's right. So we will explore these things in this working group sessions. And yes, maybe you can introduce yourself, Ryan.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Yeah, so a bit of your introduction.
Yeah, so my name is Ryan Ahmed. Currently, I'm an employee at AI Con Technologies. And the experience I have with related to Cardano development, that there are resource available on Cardano, but not entirely. So we have to engage a little more on the code side, I think. For example, I was working with a project Hummingbot, so I have to look the libraries, and there are many options, packages, npm packages, like Lucid is there, Lucid Cardano. So I have to look all the functionalities, so how to calculate balance through UTXOs, what are policies, policy ID, and what the internal things are there in the Cardano ecosystem. So this is a little bit challenging as well, and uh, uh, in the learning perspective, it is good to know uh, entirely. It doesn't mean that we have to learn everything, but there are two parts in Cardano. One is on-chain and off-chain. So mainly my work is on off-chain, and I also explored on-chain, but there are less resource on on-chain, which I have faced, like how to build a template, on Cardano ecosystem. That is one I faced, and how to write a reliable smart contract. That is another challenge that I faced in my current work.
Okay, yeah. So thank you, Ryan, for intro. I mean, we can keep intro part short, but yes, I think you also sharing your experience, and we will probably discuss a bit more in detail this experience, right? So right now, maybe Sumit, yeah, if you can introduce how much experience you have in Cardano, and yeah, who are you, Cardano?
Yes, yes. Hi, my name is Sumit Bera. I'm an employee of AICon Technologies, and I am currently working around 6 months in the Cardano ecosystem. So, talking about my experiences, like uh, some of the resources are too old, like 2 years, 3 years before they are writing the smart contract, and some of the dependencies in the Plutus and the Haskells are upgraded. So how we can write the new smart contract in the new template, and also like Intersect MBO provide the uh, Plutus template, but when I try to implement in my local machine, so I face problem like I cannot build the template using the Nix. So I face that issue, and one thing is that in Cardano there are many resources available in different places. Like different, there are many websites are present. So it's better to present all the information in few websites. I think it should be better. So that's all about my experiences.
Good. Thank you, Sumit. Aditya?
Hello, hello. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a developer on Cardano for a few months as well, and I've been developing smart contracts as well as off-chain code for Cardano. But again, I also have some difficulties in Nix and dependency management. It is a bit complicated compared to like npm and other packet managers. But apart from that, it's very straightforward and fun. Cardano is good in most
Great.
cases.
Great. Good to hear. Aditya. Good. Thank you. Gaurav, if you can talk, or are you still traveling?
No,
Oh,
sir,
you.
I can talk, sir.
Okay, good.
Okay, sir. I am also working in the AI quant. I have the experience around the 6 month in Cardano development, and in AI quant, I am working basically the extension development part, where I face some issues in the some dependency errors are occur when you go through the window part. Uh, and when you go the in Linux, then it works properly, but in window work not properly. Some errors is coming out. And so when you are writing the new smart contract, uh, basically problems occurs in the dependency. Most of the dependency are not where find out and how can resolve these issues. This in this code they are not answering sometimes. These are the issue are coming.
Okay, good. Thank you, Gaurav, for introducing, and yeah, highlighting the Gaurav's work. He's developing some plugins for the developers and trying to make the life easier for developers, Cardano developers, right? But same time, of course, you kind of mentioned or highlighted he's having difficulty in writing that code because some of the things works well in Linux but doesn't work well in Windows. So those kind of the challenges. But he's writing some extensions for VS Code. Yeah. Okay. So this is the introduction round. Alex, back to you. If any kind of thought from here, how
Yeah,
you?
thank you. There's some feedback. For example, one of the challenges that developers face many times is a lack of feedback. As Yurav just said, like asking questions on Discord is nobody responds. That sucks, to be honest. It's not good developer experience. On the other hand, like what we can do about it. That's my question here. Like, so I see just from what guys were talking, what are the challenges, and what you face. And I hear Nix quite a few times. And yeah, like one thing is documentation is outdated. That's really kind of maybe we should discuss this in more depth, because kind of the technology, there are some cases sometimes you have like old code which doesn't run and you cannot start it and make experiments with it. That's like, yeah, it's not a good thing. But on the other side, sometimes there is old documentation which describes perfectly functional code, and then it's like we maybe can look into particular documentation gaps that we have and the things that people are trying to build, and what in particular maybe I can suggest pieces of documentation that exist that I know, or places to search for the documentation.
Yeah, I believe all of you have taken the developer experience survey we kind of conducted, right? Raise your hand if you have taken the. Yeah. Okay. Good. Thank you. Maybe can. So good. Thanks. Thank you. So I think yeah, we have Alex. We have their feedback somewhat in format of survey feedback, right? But of course, as they joining here, we can get some of their questions and feedback here as well. Maybe Alex, we can explain in terms of some of the, maybe more in detail now, the expectations and how they can be involved if they want to in this working group in more active manner. This is the first call they're attending, but maybe we can show them path that, and expectation that what they.
When one expectation for people is to show up, but to show up, people need to see value in showing up, and what we're actually going to be doing. For in my experience, what happened with the developer experience working group, we joined these talks. There was a lot of discussions. Nix was sounded quite a few times. It motivated me to go and study Nix, and I use NixOS at the moment. Talking from NixOS as my daily driver, and talking to Nix community in the Nix Discord. Actually, this is a line of things that we're developing now. And today I was looking into discussion like with Moritz, and yeah, I'm gonna. There's an action item for me to attend Nix office hours and discuss how we could potentially work out collaborations and learn in Nix for those who are interested. I'm interested first and foremost because I like Nix. It's a nice tool, and figuring it out and being able to build things with this is just nice programming, Yeah. So Nix stuff aside, right? So there were discussions, and one of the ideas was how we can make, with the resources that we have. So I've built this project that I showed you before, finding someone who help me see how this could be useful to other people. And so I found something that could be useful to other people. I built it out, and then was going promoting, and it was a bit of a point for me networking in the ecosystem. Just coming to meetings and telling people, "Hey guys, I built this thing, and try to use it, and what you can do with it." But that's a bit of a challenge here, because where it's like, where do you get idea of a thing that you want to build? And so it could be an interesting, like if anyone has like feature suggestions or things that we could implement in the scope of this working group, and working at a, not a fast pace. But the core thing with open source is that you have to have product in the end. Any way that you build, even if your consumer is a computer geek who is just exploring this for fun, still. And so figuring out what improvements we could, I would say we could fund, for example, using Catalyst, but you're already working on that. So yeah, with the way things work at Intersect as well, I would say, going for a thing that is a Catalyst proposal with changing the scope and building things smaller, building things bigger, or proposing things bigger, could open up opportunities, for bringing this to Tex and Christian, saying, hey, we want to build this thing, and yeah, we think this is how it's going to be useful to ourselves or to other members of the community, and let's so that, yeah, some things are easy to build and quick, like a couple of weeks, and some things take time and resources, and then we could, like, yeah, if this is so go through our ideation and prioritization and productization process. Yeah, ask Christian and Tex to guide us if there are proposals to build stuff like this.
Yeah, great. Thank you. I think we'll find the more interest from this group as well, and I think we ourselves also need to explore this more. Just thinking that they may be already explored this repository. Just I find that maybe introduce them to Intersect repository a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say this one, I think. Yep. So do you see the screen?
Do?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So okay, got it. Yeah. So just I think, yeah, pretty much maybe most of us here know about it, but just want to emphasize that there is a code repository of Intersect MBO, and there are 80 repositories right now. And familiarize with these. Some of you might have built some interest area in any of these, so you can, like, let's say Cardano API is a start, then you have got an interest, and then you can start looking at it, and even you can give some feedback or questions there, kind of the things, whatever you find there, right? So that's something on side I'm just mentioning. Now we will search on the developer experience. Right? Oh, it's not coming. Search. Yeah, dev experience. So there's two. This is old one, which is archived, and this is the new one, which is we are working. So we've taken some of this detail from the old one, but we are working on this new one. So this is where right now the developer's advocate is supposed to work, and we're kind of working on it. We'll find some initial information about developer's advocate as well, and what are the plans are here right now, right? Now, this is work in progress, and maybe you don't find much material here right now, but the reason for me showing here is that keep watch on this, and you will probably get more updated stuff as we go along. And some of the things we're discussing here that maybe we can centralize, or we can put more information as, like, I think was very particular suggestion, possibly was it from Gaurav or Sumit, that yeah, Sumit, I think said, can put all the information together. Like, there are a lot of websites, different places to go and look for, hunt for the information. If things can be more collated and put in one place, and maybe a bit more structured fashion. So that's good point taken. And we I think also discussed in our developer advocate group as well. So we will be kind of working on that, and you can contribute on that as well. So that's something that point. I think that's good point. I think that Tax is sharing this Discord channel. So I guess the most of the people, yeah, I'm assuming though maybe they can say more, but not very kind of active on Discord. But possibly that the Discord is good channel to be active in a developer experience related conversation point of view, right? So Tex has shared that link, and that's the link where he's supposed to start kind of discussing more on this developer experience related thing in working group. So you can feel free to join this working group and see if you can benefit from it, as well as see if you can contribute to it as well. Back to you, Alex.
Yeah, good. So on my side, if as you pointed out to the repositories in Intersect, there is an opportunity which is, I don't know how is it like, at least partially related to the developer experience working group. So if, as some folks said, that building actually on the technology is not that straightforward, and one of the ways that we understand this technology is by digging around the tooling that we use to actually. So if you want to advance your smart contract understanding and how it works, contributing to Plutus repository is a nice way to be, because what happens, you work with the people who work there, and you get to know them, and then it's more likely that they're gonna respond to your question in Discord when it's a familiar face rather than just someone random, So if that could be interesting. So for me, it worked really well. That's what I can say. Just going through and looking for either ideas that sound interesting and kind of doable, or ideas which are marked as good first issues, but I didn't find them as satisfying. Even I found an issue which was interesting. I failed to actually complete it and merge the pull request because someone who knew how to do it fixed it, like made this wrote the code that was required in like a week, when it took me several months actually to research the stuff, and try to. But I still, I learned a lot about how this works by working on this project, and actually failing in the end. But yeah, by reading the requirements and digging around the code, I got a good glimpse, and writing actually about it the most. I got a good glimpse into how it works and what are the bits and pieces that work together, and what well, mostly I like people, so mostly who are the people who could if I had a difficult question which is not in documentation, who I could like reach out to and ask. How do I do this? How do is there any research on this subject? Things like that. So yeah, contributing to core Cardano, even if you don't feel like very experienced, it's a quite not as challenging as you would think, and you get a lot out of it in a sense of accomplishment and learning and understanding the technology.
Yeah. So let's ask from the attendees. So far, what are you grasping, and what are your thoughts? I think the two tracks are kind of we talking about it. One, how you can get help, right? What are the help you need, and how you can, if you can, what help you need, and if you can get any help from through us and through the working groups, through the different channels, right? So that's one what you can get, and other part is that if you can also participate in contributing in some of the open source aspect, or even answering queries or being active in these kind of working groups. So these are the two possibilities. uh, Yes, I think we asked everybody, said that they have filled up the form. I think the survey, all of them have filled up text, so we confirm. So that's good contribution. Thanks everyone for participating in survey. But going forward, you can stay more active as you are developing anyway on Cardano, right? So that's great and good to know. And you have gone through this journey of learning Cardano, so you can benefit other people as well. And also, we know that while you developing on Cardano, you will face different challenges or have some queries and things like that. So you participate here in these kind of groups, you can get more help. That's kind of also Alex is kind of saying that when you start knowing the people around, and things has become easier to get the help. So that's something which is coming up. So any kind of input or comments from this conversation from audience, Ryan, Gaurav, Aditya, Smith, anything which comes to pop up in your mind, any of these two tracks particularly, or anything else in your mind, you can speak up.
Yeah. Hello.
Both of us had a question.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Smith.
So, mm so I understand that there is two parts. Like whatever we gone through the situation, like a Cardano experience journey. So whatever we learning through this journey, so we can share the documents and share the resources. We can with other developers, and we whatever we face in the writing the new smart contract or any development new things, so we can share with you, so you can solve the issue or something.
Yeah, these are the two things we are talking about it. And what are you interested, or did you understood in a way that where and how to get it this help, or how to provide the help? So I think we are now going in bit more detail than we're trying to, yes, confirm that what is your understanding, and if any new point pop up in your mind.
Yeah, you told that in the Intersect MBO there is a repository where we can share the resources. So we can contribute to open source that project, and we figure it out whatever new things that we have learned.
Okay, good. Thank you, Sumit. And any other comment? Ryan?
Yes,
Any?
sir. I also
Good.
wanted to say one thing, like we can provide all the resource, as well as we can provide some, uh, as we know that in YouTube or any platform, if we search Cardano related technologies, we only get the trading part, not the development part, what the coding is actually is. So we can provide some, we can make some videos on how to do basic transactions, how to mint a token, and basic details that are there for the transaction, and what are the libraries which are present for trading, for transaction, and to interact with smart contract. So we can provide a little bit basic videos. We can also create a little information about how to do off-chain as well as on-chain transaction, and how to interact with smart contract. Thank you.
Very good idea. Very good idea, and great gesture as well that you guys want to share your learnings with the wider community. That's great, and also great idea. I think let's discuss it further. This idea on the kind of creating short videos on some of the learnings or challenges. So that's something it's I think can be a good resource in long run. I mean, that's I think it's a really great thing. So thank you for great idea. Gaurav, any additional point or any more thought you have in mind?
Yes, sir. I have the one thought, and also I support the Ryan what he say, and have the common repository where every developer can go and check, and open source, and where he write the code, and put the all code. Some codes are in the Intersect MBO, and some codes are in the IHCO platform. Some packages are here and there. So you go all places and check where all module is loaded, and and when you writing the any smart contract, you have to go through the different places, and you have fixing the main. Most of time you have to you lost all the time on the setup and dependency fixing, so you have to put in one place, so can a developer can easily use it and do fastly, and no take time on the dependency fixing. This is the answer.
Very good point and very nicely caught by Gaurav. I mean, I think you bang on target. This is a transition issue in one way, I would say. I mean, it could have been even earlier as well, but I think in last 6-8 months it has been a bigger issue, and it may continue for another 5-6 months, I would say, uh, uh, at the higher degree. I mean, it may continue later on, but more so because there is a transition is going on from a IOHK particularly, but also from Cardano Foundation, another entity, on some of the code repositories, and Intersect is taking lead to kind of streamline that. So point of yours is taken, but yes, work point of view right now, while the things are in progress, things are kind of getting a bit more messy in a way, like that there are repositories, and like we just shown you the developer experience kind of repository. It was IHK kind of repository in past. We got the code here but then we don't want it to utilize existing the same repository due to some of the issues. So we copied the repository, and we started kind of a new repository. So now it could be useful. I mean, intent is there forward looking, but in between it's just so that there's an archive, and this the naming convention make it enough clear. So this is a small example, but what I'm trying to say that in this transition phase, there has been some of the challenges. You're right, and Intersect and as a community, we trying to resolve this issue that going forward, these things are kind of properly taken care. But this issue and feedback is very nice, so feedback is taken. Great, Aditya, you raising hand.
Yeah, just one question I had is, going forward, most of the repositories are going to be managed with Intersect, right? Or will the IOHK repository still be updated?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't have a final answer really on that, Alex, if you have to get it. But IOHK had actually handed over the ownership to the Intersect, and IOHK will be continuing to work on some of the repositories, and they get paid for that, right? So that will continue. As it is not that it's going to stop. IHK will continue working, but the ownership earlier, which was under the IOHK, ownership will be with Intersect. And when we say Intersect, meaning the Intersect is not one person company. Intersect is a organization made of the community members. So we all are also the owner or the member of the Intersect as well in that sense, right? So Intersect is more that way kind of community driven, like IOHK, Charles Hawkinson, or Morgo or Cardano Foundation. It's more different objective and kind of more specific management driven kind of companies. But Intersect is very specifically came in existence where that even Charles wanted to hand over the control to the community with the new constitution, right? So with that means that we are Intersect also owning the code, but somebody has to manage and work on this code. So one major part we want to drive is the community is working on it, but also some of the code repositories as of now, IOHK will continue managing it as far as I know about it. Alex, anything to add?
Question about Intersect is very interesting in the whole thing that is going on. Is a little bit of a thing in itself, and it's because the innovation that Cardano actually puts forward and as its value proposition, why should anyone be using Cardano? At least in my perspective, is open governance, right? So like I'm from Russia, I don't have much say in what my country does, and it's not very interesting, from this point of view to be there because of this and some other things. Like if I were to build an enterprise or a business or whatever, like would be people just would take it from me if it was successful because they are closer to the source of power, right? More in the circles of power. And so what I like about Cardano is in particular this philosophy, of liberal democracy and empowering people to get involved into governance. And in essence, what I see governance is what Cardano actually is, is a collective treasury, which is managed by those who are crazy enough to get involved, and so this whole thing is very interesting to me personally because if this technology could be used, to build institutions and pieces of the state back in Russia, it could be, a big thing for coming back and actually being sensible people once, and being able to, have a good life, without terrorizing your neighbors. I do understand that there's limitations that technology offers here, but the point of liberalism and involvement in governance is a big thing that I don't think anyone really understands, or most community members don't understand, especially programmers who like to say oh, I hate politics, I don't like going to these meetings, and discussing. But it's like this is actually you can have a say in how this runs after. And the point of Intersect is not to have people who maintain this stuff, the core Cardano repositories. It is to let community members decide who does this work and how much they get paid. So it's the process that we are all going through, from being managed by HK, which is a private company, which nobody has insight into. It's very, it's a company. And Intersect is a members-based organization, non-profit, where all the mechanisms are built in a way that they give members, Intersect members, ownership of this whole thing. To me, it's interesting because if I can direct it in a way and use it, then in the future, even if my country doesn't go back to its senses and I cannot go back, I can still be a global citizen with a crypto being my assets, not tied to any nation. So yeah, I don't know. a bit of a comment on rant about Intersect and what it is, because it's a fascinating thing, actually.
Yeah. Good question, Aditya. Good. Any more thought or what else we can share with the community? I think we are about 40 minutes. Look like we covered the basics part, but yeah, now any detailing part, Alex, what we can do?
Yeah, well, our best outcome, the way that like I like to do things that people say, look at and say like, oh, wow, that's nice. I see a nice outcome would be, if, but we actually were never able to do this sustainably for members of the working group to come in, take action items and say like, I'm going to do this by the next meeting. And very few people did it. And so if anyone feels like it would be a great outcome, if like someone would say, I'm going to do something by next meeting, and they would do it. But what it is, for me, was never a question. Was like, what can I do, for myself, and in particular for my self-development as a programmer, as a tech entrepreneur and things like that. So if you guys have any questions, how we can help you do that, I'm happy to, find out by the next meeting, for example, and tell you.
Yeah. One thing I think will do remind me, Aditya, that like I think that you are already Intersect member, most likely paid member. You got in that hackathon. So, but for others, I think those who are working, we know, working, I think will recommend them to become the member of Intersect. There are two versions. I mean, one is paid, one is free. So let's get started with the free, and we'll see maybe some reasoning or sponsorship to make paid version as well. It's not recommended that you pay and become member right now until you have to. If you want to, you can, but not kind of push for that. But it's recommended that you at least become the free member. So we'll kind of have small drive. Maybe they can remind later on. But yeah, that's something. So why I'm mentioning again that once you member, I think you can access some resources there on the portal, and that could be a nice thing to do. So you can already go to intersectmbo.com and can possibly just sign up or register there if you have not done already. Okay, if you guys have more points, great. If anyone want to drop is fine for us, but like Alex said that if you can be a bit more regular and also start kind of contributing or taking up some task if you feel confident and excited about it, and also if you have a question, come and be open and raise the questions. So it's good you guys joined and appreciate. But if anyone want to drop, fine. We will be here another 15 minutes. Also see if anybody else join. We also missing Bernard or Suganya. I thought they would join, but couldn't, right?
But the cadence is the other meeting.
Okay.
We have me and you, and they are meeting at the other day.
Okay, what else we can talk? So I think they conducted some sort of more survey kind of thing or online in this kind of meeting, but I think we have the survey already, so we need to kind of maybe a bit more analyze and work on that. But right now, I guess not running at least survey with this group, shorter group, right?
Yeah, I can only ask so much of other people. And the surveys, you know, is like, why should I?
Maybe I can. I didn't ask them. They filled up the survey. If they have any feedback on survey, like they find the survey relevant, or what is their expectation out of the survey kind of thing? While we are working on it, but like any intent, I mean expectations, talk, any feedback on survey.
Uh, I can answer that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the survey was well done. There were no issues in it. The only thing that I noticed that it was shared through developer advocates like Uday and Alex. I assume you shared it, right? So instead of that, if it was directly available in Intersect website, I don't think it is available in Intersect website, right? If it was directly available, so it would be easier to just click that, go into the survey and answer it through that. Or unless it's available at the GitHub repository, because I haven't looked into that.
Maybe it's not. You're right, Aditya. I think I don't think so. I didn't see it either. So yeah, we prepared it, but how to disseminate, how to increase the participation, it was left mostly on us on personal level to kind of reach out through the different. It was shared in LinkedIn and those kind of, X and things like that. But I think we had very limited responses basically. But still, we got decent response. I would say it's not, but yes, good feedback. I mean, we can possibly have more active links in some of the kind of these websites where people expected to come and see, but we kind of adopted the approach to push this content to the various kind of personal contact groups, whether it's Twitter, LinkedIn, or WhatsApp, or it's called Telegram, etc. Those were the approach taken. But good to get your feedback that otherwise survey was good. You found it relevant. It's good. Any other feedback on survey meanwhile? Yeah, so Alex, I'm just kind of thinking already that like what do we expect? Let's say if it is not the different set of the people next meeting, let's say the same people now, Sumit, Aditya, and Gaurav, they join. How and what we differently going to achieve in the next call or next meeting, basically?
Well, if you didn't notice, I try to push the subject of the meeting from what originally IOG passed to us. And that's a bit of, let's build something for Cardano. Like make your contributions, learn from it. I do support this in my own way, as a like philosophy of lifelong learning, but I understand that this is not like you cannot ask people directly to contribute because that's like it comes from inspiration rather from responsibility. So to move things in this direction, I'm trying to like what I would want to get from this working group, and for me it would be like developer experience would be similar to career development. So we would reframe this discussion in a sort from what is good developer experience on Cardano. Good developer experience on Cardano is when you see like where you're growing and your next steps and what I'm going to be in the next phase of my career and what I'm getting actually of participating in this ecosystem. And so we could discuss that, and then from this point of view, I already know what I would be doing, or like the opportunities that I could pursue, and do. And so from the discussion and, how we could actually help people who join get better because they join, and yeah, and see what is feedback in this sense, and how we can publicize this message and advertise it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we did not possibly go more in detail of the contribution ladder aspect either as well, because that's also, I think, published now.
Mhm.
And it's not yet fully in action, but it's published that what is the intent, how the thing's going to work it out. So that part, I think, is already publicly available. That become relevant, I think, in this context.
Yeah. We could go through contribution ladder because already, you know, talking about career development, if we look at not from the side of committee, you know, which was going through it, but from our side and side of developers, there are some items there which actually touch upon, you know, what things people tend to do in open source ecosystems, which help them get more established. And we touched about this in this conversation, you know, getting to know more people, working with the you know experts in the field, working with core maintainers, with other folks like this. Yeah, I'm doing this as much as I is available to me. So like this Nix conversation, and just now Moritz replied in a huge text I have to tomorrow morning, hopefully. Not tonight. Yeah, and the thing is, like, what we're gonna do about Haskell.nix as a part of our remit and as like as developer advocates, we should. This is part of our thing to bring this forward, because if we don't, eventually there will be no people who know how it works enough for keeping it updated, and everything else also depends on it. As was sounded today, is a big thing built by Cardano folks, and yeah, they're super smart, but we have to make it accessible to us regular people, not not the crazy guys who build this stuff.
Yeah. So that's a good idea. That's first of all, I'm just picking on your idea. Like with the next meeting, we kind of go a bit more on contribution later. I mean, we'll have the regular feedback session, and then we will have a specific topic, maybe 10-15 minutes to go through the contribution later and maybe answer questions related to that. So that's something we can keep it for the next meeting, I think.
Yeah, if one, I don't know, is like how interesting it is, but it's actually like just evaluating. It's a lot of work, and we don't have any budget to really put into it for the project that you remember we were discussing about the treasury. And it's like we could look at it, but it's quite a bit of work and for the resources that we have. Or alternatively, if there is interest, we could go through Nix and see what challenges are there. Are there any immediate solutions that we could figure out, or are there any less immediate solutions and things that we could recommend, or we could find gaps in existing things, yeah. So let's see.
Sure. Something in my ads. Okay.
Should we cut it short and just say goodbye and go home?
Yeah. Some of my eyes hurting. I don't know what happened. But yeah, I think thank you, gentlemen, ladies. Today, so thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for your feedback. You possibly understood what is the intent here from Intersect Cardano point of view. We want to have a little bit more involvement from the developers and improve the developer experience, right? It is already accepted or understood that there is a lot of scope to improve the experience of the developer while they're working on Cardano, right? So it's going to take time. It's going to be a longer journey, but together we can make it better. So we require your participation, and we will be in touch. And so the next meeting will be after 2 weeks, same time. Okay. So thank you everyone, and nice catching up here in this. this call today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining. Bye.
Bye-bye.